Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good wherever you are, and welcome to another episode of the Levicity Show. As you guys can see, there is no Darwin here.
He's missing.
He is missing. I suspect he might have a girlfriend or something.
I actually suspect as well. My relationship sensors are tingling.
Yeah,
so
people go missing when they're in relationships.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I disappeared. Luckily, someone paid the ransom, and I came back. So if you have any idea where Darwin is or you know his whereabouts, please feel free to call 1-800-FIND-DARWIN. That's 1-800-FIND-DARWIN.
Oh my God.
And one of us will pick up, and we'll greatly appreciate your help. So thank you on that.
Darwin, if you're seeing this, we care about your safety. Come home, okay?
Please. Please think of the children.
So, for this episode, we have the legendary Keema.
Legendary. Well, hi.
How's everything?
It's good. Can't complain.
For those of you who don't know, because there was no video for that, Keema was on the podcast before, the Black American Experience.
Yes.
Which was a dope-ass episode.
Indeed.
But, before we get into the topics, let's start with you. How have you been?
In the past few days, in pain.
Pain?
Yeah, in pain. So what I recently did was I played basketball.
Oh.
Yeah, nice little full court pickup game. The last time I played basketball was probably like 10 years ago, give or take.
Question.
So best believe the next day I woke up and I felt pain in places I didn't think pain existed. Blinking was a task. It hurt. Everything hurt. It was just the pain of I honestly your finger, if you try to close your hands, that hurts. There's muscles in your ankles. I didn't know that. That hurts. Well, I mean, I should know that, but yeah, so I was doing that, and ultimately I found out why everyone loves it, because it's like a good workout, like a full body workout. In my opinion, I think it's better than running. It just covers a whole lot of bases. You got your cardio, you got your strength, your muscle groups, and then you got the camaraderie that comes with it. So, I want to start playing basketball more, but it's not my favorite sport, and I can't dribble up and down the court. So it's a nice little song reference for those of you out there. But yeah, that's
classic. Yo, after a certain age, basketball is dangerous. I can't tell you how much people on the task force has gone out because they got hurt playing basketball. You make the wrong turn, boom, blew out a knee.
Well, I mean,
it is a good sport.
They get 3 months paid, so.
Nah, they changed the policies.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yikes.
But Keema, how have you been?
I've been well.
How long has it been?
What was that, 2022? When I was on the podcast last?
That was 2022, yeah.
2 years.
So since then, I've graduated. I got my bachelor's in public health, thankfully. Secured a job in my industry, which doesn't happen too often.
There we go.
Right.
A well-paying job at that. And just enjoying life. Everything is abundantly blessed. I could say that.
That's a good way to put it. Abundantly blessed.
Abundantly blessed. Okay.
I see you rocking the black men shirt.
I had to come correct.
Please read it out for us.
Black men are extraordinary. Black men are sensational. Black men are remarkable.
Preach.
Black men are incomparable.
Indeed.
Black men are phenomenal.
Of course.
Black men are kings.
No doubt.
Black men are necessary.
Absolutely
Preach.
necessary.
Preach,
Absolutely.
preach. And happy Black History Month to everyone out here.
I have countless shirts like this, but I had to choose. It was between this one and a I Love Being a Black Woman hoodie. So this is what you got today.
Kind of give back to the black men.
All the time. I have a little one. I have to.
Respect it. See?
Do you have any plans for Black History Month?
Nothing out of the ordinary. Regular blackity black self, like always. It's
Cruising being black.
right. Black history is every day for me. That's how I try to live, embody it. So 1 month doesn't make it extra special.
I appreciate how involved and how much you care about the Black community.
I appreciate you saying that.
Like you make it known, and I think we need more of that. And what also like it's not just Black men; it's also Black women, Black businesses, things like that. We do need more of that.
Some people will say it's a problem, but we're not going to go there.
Define problem. I'm kind of curious on this. Like, give me an example. Just like it doesn't have to be like in detail.
I've been told that my pro-Blackness is overbearing for some people, which is odd to me because I don't push it on others. I just stand in my truth and what I value. And some people know that, and they do things to try to like incite a reaction from me. But you're gonna get what you're gonna get. I'm pro-Black, 10 toes down. It doesn't matter.
So being pro-Black, do they insinuate that you're anti every other ethnicity then?
Anti everything else, or racist. I get that too, because I'm so pro-Black.
So pro-Black. I mean,
I have to ask this question because I've been hearing this a lot lately.
I feel like I know what you're gonna say.
Do you think? Do both of you think Black people can be racist?
Nope.
What about you?
I think Black people can be racist because anyone can be racist. We just got affected by it a lot more than other races, in my opinion. So in terms of like, I want to say like, it depends on the context. Right? Like if a Black person is racist, are they just racist to be like, I want to say like bias, or are they just like racist because of the situation, the circumstances that they've experienced in their life?
What I would say, and how I answer this question often, is that Black people can't uphold the racist system. We have no power, very little power to help push forward the system that's existed, particularly in this country. So for that alone, we cannot be racist. We can be prejudiced, we can be biased, we can be everything else where we treat others away, right? But to the extent of the word of what racism at least means to me, Black people cannot be racist.
So just for clarification, and I actually agree with what you're saying right there. Do you believe that because of the experiences we've had, our ancestors and the history Black people have had, it kind of like exonerates us from being racist? Like it doesn't apply to us the same way it applies to everyone else? Like clarification.
For lack of better, yes.
Okay.
That's exactly
all right.
what I'm saying.
Just okay. I agree with that in a sense. Yeah, I do.
Just to clarify too, it's not just history. It's present day as well. That Black people are experiencing the same things that my grandfather, my great grandfather experienced. So it's not a historical lens. It's an active present situation.
Okay. I feel like I think Black people can be racist. I think Black people can be racist. I think we just can't uphold the standards of what racism has done to us. I think like the slavery and the wealth gap difference and all of that was just a result of racism. But, you know, if I was walking around like F these white folks, I'm probably racist. You know, I just can't benefit from it, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
But I was just curious because it's been going around a lot, that question. And so it's interesting because there's a lot of people on both sides.
Absolutely. What I would also just want to say that for some, and I'm not speaking for others, I'm speaking for myself, being pro-Black has nothing to do with anti anyone else. I love and support my people 10,000% because they're my people. I'm not advocating for anyone else to be harmed or to be like disenfranchised in any way. I'm just saying, as far as Black people go, they're my priority. That's who I care about. That's who I love abundantly. Like that's all I'm saying with my pro-Blackness. But I know that's not everybody.
No,
It
I
needs to
mean,
be everybody.
I think it could be, well, not everybody in sense of like every Black person, but I know for certain, due to my experience, that other races, other ethnicities support their race and their ethnicity as well, more so than
Others.
others. Yeah, more people are willing to invest in group than like out groups. So like if we look the same, if we come from the same area, if we come from the same background, we're more likely to support each other as comparison to someone else who's from a different area, a different culture, a different background. And I think ultimately us as Black people, we just verbalize it. I don't think any other race or ethnicity, in my opinion, can like verbalize it the way we can. Maybe because they might sound like they're coming off as racist or whatever the case may be. That's on them. I can't really speak for them. I could speak for us, and ultimately our struggles have given us this unique platform to the point where we can verbalize the unity and the unity we seek, so.
You know, I always said that I wasn't going to share this publicly, but
I
I
knew
feel
it.
like I have a right to share it. I owe it to the people to share it.
Speak your truth, King.
I do feel like as the Black community, we need to stop all of this. We got haters and stuff like that. And we do need that mindset where we value our own community and we start to build each other up. Like when you think about it, you got Jewish neighborhoods, you got white neighborhoods, and they're all amazing and all of that. But then when you think about a Black neighborhood, people think about the projects. They think about violence, Black on Black crimes. I think as a community, we need to finally build ourselves up because nobody's going to save us. People are like, oh, reparations. I need the government to pay for this, pay for that. How about we focus on building ourselves up, making ourselves a better community, generational wealth, things like that. And that's the start. But it bothers me seeing our community let ourselves down. To a point where like even stupid shit, like if you talk proper, you're talking white. What?
Oh, I've been dealing with that my entire life.
Yeah.
So it irks me. I
Probably
think
dealing with it now.
There's definitely layers to it. What I would say for me, the first step is we vocalize and we talk about like Black unity or like Black pride, but it's not a widespread mentality. I think there's a lot of people, Black people, who are still on some like, that's them over there, let me go over here.
Do my thing.
For whatever reason. So I think like the first step is, can we get all on the same page of like, loving each other, like understanding the duality of people who look like you. Like there's so many layers and factors that go into the condition as to why our community is the way it is. So if we could like unpack it and really sit and start to do some work before we even talk about closing that generational wealth gap. You can't jump so far ahead if you're not dealing with the most immediate issues that we're facing.
Mm-hmm.
Conversely, though, those immediate issues pertaining to us is more so like survival.
Exactly.
Because we're in like a survival mode right now where it's basically, I would love to do that stuff. I'd love for us to all get together as a community and like unite and build each other up. But right now I got to focus on the first of the month. Bills got to get paid, mounts got to get fed. I can't, I want to do more for my community, but I can barely do enough for myself, let alone for my family or my children or my kids. So I see what you're saying, but ultimately it's kind of hard to get out of that area where you're in, because right now you're just focused on survival and the survival of your family. So much so that if you've been doing it for like 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. That's your mentality. That's your life, which is why when you were mentioning the thing about Ma, the situation, just think of it like that. It's the same thing with my mother as well. You know, you've been focused on providing for your children and making ends meet and surviving for so long that it's now your livelihood. And now you give your hope, you give your ambitions to your children, your next generation, in that hope that they succeed, and then they carry you out of that generational that I want to say that generational curse. That may seem like a harsh term, but I feel like it's kind of like applicable here because we are sort of in a generational curse. We get here, and this can be any immigrant or any migrant or anyone that's not born in the U.S. or any black impoverished family or any minority family impoverished, right? You focus on survival, and then you leave your hopes and aspirations to the next generation, which is why they always push you, to be a doctor, to be a lawyer, to become successful, to, do something that makes you more money, that gets you out of that, because now they're giving you the things they can't accomplish,
So I agree, right? When you're in survival mode, it is extremely difficult to think or try to even create an idea of what outside of survival mode looks like. I lived through that, right? Firsthand, where it's on some head down, stay focused, just grind, get it done. But on the other side of that is create, even if it's not a larger community, create a community. We all have a village, right? A group that we can lean on, we depend on. We know these people will show up for me. So while you're in survival mode, he might be in survival mode, you're in survival mode, but we all have different skills and things that we can offer each other to better support and create this collective of something. It might not be everything, but it'll be something where we're a little bit less in survival mode because we have this community helping, right? You said something about your old mother. My family's from the South. We're not modern day, I would say, migrants, right?
Okay.
Not modern day. But my mom is young. She had me when she was 14. And it warms my heart to hear her tell me you're an inspiration to me, because she was in survival. My family was that stereotypical Black family where there's addicts, there's all this unhealthy stuff. She had me at 14, and she made me. And anyone who meets me today is yo, your mother did a great job. Your parents did a great job. And she looks at me and she's like, you inspire me, you push me. And now she's in school. As hard as it is for her, she is in school and she's supposed to graduate next semester with her bachelor's. Okay. And I watched her try school on and off. But she finally was able to say, all right, I have this community that I needed to support me get through whatever. She's out of survival. So it's not impossible. I know it's hard, but it's not impossible. You just have to create your village while you're in survival mode, so you could better try to make moves.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. 100%. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. So
Yeah, that was a good point.
that was very good.
Because I was gonna say,
damn,
you can be in survival, but there's a smart way of being in survival. I never knocked people who sold drugs. Fentanyl and shit's crazy.
Oh,
that's crazy. Drugs that kill people is crazy. But I can understand the mindset of the first of the month, I got to provide for my child. I'm doing this. You're in survival. But there's a smart way of being in survival. At some point, when do you stop and legitimize it? When do you start building off of that? When do you get out of survival? You shouldn't spend your entire life in survival. And the people who do are the people who are in survival, but they don't change anything about it. They just keep doing the same things they're doing while they're in survival. I'll give you a clear example. I was talking to somebody and I was like, hey, you should apply for a work at home job because I understand your situation. You need to be home, but they don't want to give up their government assistance. So you're capping your potential. because you refuse to get off government assistance. You're scared to take that leap. So you're going to stay in survival mode, but you did it to yourself. And I think a lot of people in our community do things like that.
It's funny you say that. I had a conversation recently with a friend of mine, and it opened my mind to the idea of like you said, some people are scared. And sometimes the fear is so crippling and they can't even like begin to backtrack how they ended up with this fear. And so when me and her were having a conversation, she was like, I commend you because for the way I think, whatever I want to do, I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure it out. It's going to get done. It's fine, right? I'm not going to fail. And if I do, I'm just going to keep trying. Mm-hmm. She's on the other side of the spectrum where she can't even fathom that it's going to work. In her head, it's like, it's going to implode. It's not going to, everything's just going to go to crap. And it's like, how did you end up that way? Her parents. Her parents were of this mindset of like, don't do this because it's not going to work out. Don't do this because it's not even worth doing. And then like my parents, very supportive, go do it. Go be great. We got you. Like, so that idea of like what you say to your children really sticks with them and makes them the individuals that they are. Crippling. Like she really cannot see past her current situation. And it's like, yo, you have so many options. Like, come on, make it happen.
That's definitely true. Parenting is really important. I remember growing up, my mom was like that. She's like, yo, go try it. I used to tell her every week I wanted to be something. All right, go do it. And if she could afford it, she would get me the resources for it. And I remember saying it on the show before, I was like, the most important thing, well, not the most important thing, but one of the best decisions Mom made was to get me a computer because it turned me to who I am today. But yeah, I think parents need to reinforce to children that, hey, you can do whatever you want to do. Long ago, we thought we couldn't fly planes. Look at us now. Now people going to Cancun once a month. So anything is possible, especially now with the day with technology and internet.
It's too much technology. It's too much technology for anybody to like have that excuse of.
You can do anything. There's people who are eating crab legs and recording it, and they're getting paid 6 figures a year. You can do whatever it is that you want to do in life. There is no excuse. And it is scary, taking that leap. But
calculated risk. That's what it is. You make calculated risk, not just all willy-nilly.
Yeah. But what's life if you don't take a calculated risk or two? Just end up stagnant. That's depressing.
That's true.
Die before you're dead.
Die before you're dead.
But
but also you don't want to work yourself to death as well. You also got to focus on enjoying the little things as well. No one wants to be. Well, I shouldn't say no one wants to be. You shouldn't be the richest person in the graveyard.
I disagree with that.
No. What's the point? What's the point of being the richest person in the graveyard?
Because let's say, hypothetically speaking, I become the richest person in the world. That's generational wealth. So even if I'm in a grave, the Constantines are still rich. I'm just, the richest person in the graveyard. You know?
But if you spend your lifetime working to get that place instead of enjoying being there, then you're more so working for your family, for your generation coming, which is fine, which is as it should be. As humans, as animals, we focus on, at some point in our life, we focus on our offsprings and whether or not we want them, or we try to find a way to sustain our legacies, right? And that's fine. That's how it is biologically, right? But that shouldn't be a reason to like sacrifice your happiness, Oh, wait, hold up.
You go ahead.
We struck something here. Okay.
No, a thought came to mind.
Okay.
When you speak about happiness, right? Something that I realized, obviously, Black people, because that's who I talk to mostly. A lot of Black people don't know what their passions are, right? You don't know what your passion is. How are you knowing what's going to make you happy? Everything has to be tangible to make you happy. If you don't know what your passions are, what pushes you, what like really drives you forward, and that comes with not being in survival mode. You can't figure out your passions. You don't have the leisure, the privilege of testing. Oh no, I don't like that. or testing, oh, I like this quality, but I don't like this quality. And then figuring out ultimately what the bigger thing is that you do enjoy. It's unfortunate, but a lot of Black people, they don't have that privilege.
I say caveat to that too is I agree to an extent that you shouldn't work yourself to death, but I do agree that in every person's life there should be a point where it's like I'm going to build something so that I can enjoy the rest of my life. You know, you got to balance whether you want to have these little moments for the rest
Right
of your life
now.
or do you want to enjoy the rest of it. And I think the ultimate goal is to do something for a living that is a passion so that it's not working yourself to death. Like the person who we're in a world of content creators. So the person who just streams every day, they're not working. They're living their lives and enjoying it. And I think that's the ultimate goal. If you're like working in corporate world and you hate it and you're just doing it for money, of course, you know, that's different. But that's miserable in itself. So,
Okay.
but I want to switch gears real quick. You know, it is Black History Month. You know, love talking about Black folks, but I also want to talk about relationships. You know, Valentine's Day is so important. You know, it's one of the biggest holidays.
It shouldn't be.
Commercial.
It shouldn't be.
Commercial holiday.
It shouldn't be.
What, second to
Valentine's Day
Christmas?
shouldn't be important.
No, we should get that as a federal holiday. I need that day off.
Well, whosoever you're affiliating yourself with at that time will know that you have that day off.
I mean, I wouldn't mind that.
Oh, okay. Well, excuse me. Sorry.
For the record, though, to clarify, I am single because
That was speculation. You know, I ain't trying to jam you up.
yeah, no Valentines or anything like that.
But yeah, I don't think Valentine's Day should be as big as it should be. You know, I wish it wasn't, because it kind of ruins romance. It ruins it.
Really?
Yeah, because
Interesting.
I mean, like,
That's because you got to take that day off.
no. Look, in my opinion, right, I believe that if you love someone and you want to spend your time with that person for however long it may be, rest of your life, like in intervals, it doesn't matter. Like, if you want to be with someone and you love them, you want to show them affection and stuff, that should be a 365-day thing. It shouldn't just be dedicated for just one day. Like, you know, let's say you get into an, I don't know, you have an on again, off again thing. You get into an argument all the time, you know. You shouldn't, if you're in a toxic or unhealthy relationship, but Valentine's Day is the only day where things are good. It's like, it shouldn't be the precipice. Like, okay, Valentine's Day, let's do lovey-dovey stuff. Okay, and then like the next day, it's back to arguments. It's back to like, I don't like this about you. I don't like that about you. It should be more so like a 365-day thing, and not just like one day where you get your partner flowers, you get your partner, I don't know, candies or chocolates, you buy them a gift to show them how much you appreciate it, because we're in a world of technology. So now that's completely glamorized, right? Completely glamorized. Social media has blown it out of proportions. People having rose petals thrown all over the place, buying cars for people, parachuting, doing the damn plane thing where it types "I love you." Like, and people are seeing this on social media, and when they're seeing it on social media, they're like, "Oh, damn, that's so beautiful. That's so romantic. I want that. I wish I had that." And then they look at their relationship and they compare their relationship to that. And then that's where issues begin. It's like, I wish they would do more.
But that's not Valentine's Day issue.
Yeah, that's a
social media.
relationship.
No,
That's
no.
social media and
it's-
their relationship issue.
It is a general issue, but what I'm saying is Valentine's Day basically puts that issue in the limelight. It's like, boom, right
I
here.
disagree with that. Well,
Okay.
I think it does put it in the limelight technically, but I think as much as I'm like, you know, pro single or whatever, I love Valentine's Day because
says the single person.
Yeah, because it's where the entire world celebrates love. And I think the world needs more love. So it's not about the individual relationship. So like, yes, in a relationship, you should be affectionate and all of that, show how much you care 365. But Valentine's Day is just a reminder of love.
It's scheduled love.
No, it's not scheduled love. If it's scheduled love, that's on the individual relationship. They decided that, hey, our relationship is going to be scheduled love. But Valentine's Day is just a reminder to the world, like, love is important. We're together.
And buy these roses and chocolates for surplus
Yeah.
amount of money. That's
Rose, everybody, females, well, let me not say females. People love roses and chocolates and gifts,
okay. So here, let me ask you this, and listen up, viewers, or anyone that might be interested in what I'm about to say. So, so hold on, let me check. So in your last relationship, right? In terms of Valentine's Day, right? How did you view it then? Well, what exactly was the thing you did with the person you were last in a relationship with on Valentine's Day?
We went to the Poconos. We
Okay.
went to Cove Haven, and I made sure that I got the most expensive thing because I wanted the champagne jacuzzi. I wanted to make her feel loved.
Make her feel loved. Okay.
So I even did like the fucking fire pit. I did the rose petals. I did all of that.
Okay. Did it end up on social media? Some part of it?
No.
No? Okay, that's good. Now did you do that again afterwards?
I think we only celebrated one Valentine's Day. Yeah, that relationship was like a year long, I think.
So like after that, did y'all do anything else like pertaining to that, like close to that, like the rose petals, like the like all of that?
Nah, because I think we it's fucked up to have to say it. I did all of that, but I think we broke up like at some point after that.
Okay. All right.
But I will say that in the past, I have done something similar with other women. The last time that I did actually have a Valentine's and went out and stuff, I took her to a Michelin restaurant. I got her the balloon and the flowers, and then we came back to my place. I put on the Alexa lights and whatnot, and we drank wine and had a good time. So yes, I know I'm the single guy and stuff, but when but when I show affection, I show affection.
Oh my!
It happens
God.
once in a blue moon, but I am capable.
He can feel. The Tin Man does have a heart.
Oh wow!
Let me stop.
It's rare, but
Oh my God! See,
do
look,
show
I
out.
just did y'all a favor. There you go.
I'm not looking. Put that out there. Focused on myself and Levicity.
That's right. I mean,
But I do have a question to ask you.
Oh boy, I'm in a hot seat now. Okay.
It's about the male-female experience in relationships. Like, do you think, like, who benefits from a relationship?
Both.
Okay. How would you say a woman benefits from a relationship?
Depending on the woman, what she's looking for in a relationship. So speaking for myself, this level of safety in all ways. So physically, mentally, emotionally. I think our lived experiences dictate what we want from our future relationships. And so a priority for me is being in a space with a man who makes me feel a certain level of safety.
Okay. Okay. What do you think? How do you think males benefit?
If they pick the right one, because that's the issue.
That's important.
That's the issue. I think the benefits are the same. There's a layer of emotional safety that comes with being in a healthy relationship. Men, I have a lot of male friends, and they complain that like they're not heard in their relationships. Well, what was your vetting process, right? Was she a woman of good quality? Like the same way we talk to women about like picking the right man, that dialogue is not had with males from a young age to pick the right woman. So the relationships are very imbalanced. But I wholeheartedly believe that both parties benefit the same way when they're in a loving, caring, healthy relationship.
I agree with that. That was well said. It makes me think about the quote that the most important decision a man can make is the woman he chooses. And when you think about like all of these successful people, like the Bill Gates of the world, the Elon Musks of the world, they picked a partner and they stuck with that partner. So I think that is important.
It's funny you say that. I have a friend, a male friend, and we were having a conversation recently where he was like feeling this guilt kind of that his family is not in the space that they should be in, and that's largely his fault. And my thing is, his partner existed as an adult before he got with her, and he existed as an adult before they got together. Could it help if he had clear in his mind what his mission in life was? Yes, because then you would have picked a partner and ideally would have figured out if y'all missions aligned, right? And that's how you get those relationships that thrive and succeed in that way, because each individual had their own mission and it so closely overlapped that it worked and it took off.
Damn. That was deep.
Okay.
Okay.
Pick your partner
can see that.
wisely, Mr. Single, please.
Yeah. That's it.
I have a very intense vetting process.
Good.
Probably not good, in my opinion. Well, I mean, it's good, but I feel like it might be a little unrealistic.
Is your vetting process unrealistic, or your requirements and standards that you're looking for unrealistic?
Okay, yeah, the standards.
Okay. So what are these standards?
You basically have to be a unicorn, like a literal unicorn.
I don't want to say a unicorn.
Top three.
Top three.
Get your
First and
notepads.
foremost is the quality that I look for, and I don't know exactly what it is specifically that can get that, but the top quality that I look for in a woman is that when I'm with her, I'm inspired to be better, and I'm inspired to do better. But there's not like one trait you could have that gets you that. It's, spending time with you, and it's like, oh, okay, you inspire me to be better for myself, for my family, for you.
Wait, before you go on to the other 2 points, does that particularly mean like they have to be more in the same place as you are, or more successful, or
I think that doesn't matter. I think it's a mindset that I'm looking for.
because if they try to inspire you to be better, they can't do it. And I'm pretty sure you would think like, you can't inspire me to be better if you're not in that position of like trying to at least do better yourself. Because let's say, someone has nothing going on for them, but they inspire you to be better.
Yeah, like I will say that chances are, if I do end up in a relationship, it's probably with an entrepreneur. But to what you said, I imagine, like, let's say I do meet a woman, she doesn't have a job, she has 2 kids. If every time I hang out with her and she's trying to better herself and she's a fucking amazing mom, that would inspire me.
Now, flip it. Now, what if she wasn't trying to better herself, but she was trying to inspire you to better yourself?
Now, you'd have to be trying to be better yourself as well.
Okay. That's what I was trying to go for.
Okay, yeah. Like, I feel like you can't inspire people to do something if you're not doing it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
What were the other 2 questions?
The other 2 is honesty. I value honesty a lot. Yeah, just don't lie. It's not worth it. I think things happen. People aren't perfect. Like, you know, when people think about lying, the first thing they say is cheating. And I will always say this quote from Kanye: "No sins as long as there's permission, and deception is the only felony. So never fuck nobody without telling me." We're all humans. Don't hide things from me. I don't hide things from you. And let's not lie. The third, I don't know.
That means
those
this
two are
third
like
one's
the
the
top.
deal. This third one is the most important one. If he doesn't know, this third one's the most important one. That's it.
I got to piggyback. I'll answer the third later. I got to
Right,
think about
we'll
it.
put a pin in it.
Do you think that? Sorry. What do you think pop culture's effect has been on dating now?
Oh, pop culture. So, I can't even say it's pop culture. For me, I think it's social media. Kind of what Dara was saying. People spend so much time on social media now, and it's so much like, oh, I want this, I want that, I want what this looks like, and without fully understanding what it takes to get there or what it may look like in real life, that it's not this little snippet that you saw or the picture that you saw. So I think it's having unrealistic expectations, whether it be for like the outcome or the time it takes to get to the outcome, the desired outcome, just overall unrealistic expectations on relationships.
I agree with that. It makes me think of all the memes where people are like relationship goals.
Yes.
And it's two people on a boat. The guy got money.
Bruh.
It's like, that's a
Oh
snippet
my God.
that doesn't always happen. And you don't know what they're going through.
At all.
Right.
They could have just had a horrible fight, but just decided to post that for the gram.
That could
You
have
never
been
know.
the last amount of money in their savings account.
I got a controversial question to ask you now.
Oh boy.
Oh, the controversial one.
I posted a video about this too on social media,
Oh Lord.
and a lot of people was on one side. Do you think that men and women can genuinely be friends without any hidden agenda?
No. No.
It's the honesty. I like
I didn't
it.
expect that answer.
So had this been 2 years ago, I would have said yes. At this point of my womanhood, I've had to accept that what a friendship means to me from the opposite sex, that means that there is lines that he would never cross. There's not too many men in my phone that I call a friend that I could say, if I say, yo, pull up, they wouldn't. And for me, that means that they're not a friend. So that's that hidden agenda, where it's always just like, I'm playing a long game, maybe. Even if it's not at the forefront of their mind, just the possibility of me saying, hey, I want to, let's go. And it's on some, I'm coming. And I just had this conversation with a male friend, and he said the same thing on the reverse side, that he doesn't, if he puts that metric on his female friendships, he doesn't have a lot of female friends that wouldn't.
That's interesting because so when I put up the video, a lot of people agreed with you by a landslide.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. But and part of the video also said like guys will play the long game. You know, there will be the perfect dick for her to cry on. You know.
Oh my God.
This is an X-rated rated R.
God damn.
But I was replying to someone, and I was like, I think that there are guys who can be platonic friends with a woman, and the thought of sex doesn't cross their mind until a situation like that happens. So, like, you could be friends with, I'll use me for an example. I could be friends with a girl for 20 years. Yeah, 20 years. And then something happens, and it's like, oh, I never looked at you this way. So.
But once that happens, with my metric, it's no longer just platonic. Even though it was never on your mind before, the fact that, because I have one male friend, wholeheartedly, I know for a fact he would never, has never, and would never, in that light of me. And it's like, he's the only one I can say 100%. If I was to say, yo, pull up, what are you talking about? Like,
Do you think you can be genuine friends with an ex?
it depends on the quality of the relationship
Okay.
and how the relationship ended.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I have people now that I've dated in my time of being single where we have a good friendship. Then there's others. It's like- no.
Okay. Another thing I want to ask is, I've been hearing this a lot lately. Do you think that black men genuinely tend to not date black women?
The black men, I know they black women. I can't speak for other black men. Obviously, I know like the whole I don't see color conversation or whatever.
Color.
The black men that I surround myself with, not that they wouldn't date outside, but they primarily date within their own race. So black women.
That just goes back to the whole in-group, out-group thing. We're more predominantly likely to date inside of our culture, inside of our race, ethnicity, than like another, even if it might be beneficial.
What I would say though is what I've come to learn is that some black men, when they reach a certain status or like point in their life, either they're exhausted with a certain type of black woman and they feel like, they're not meeting anyone who's not that type of woman. And so they go and they explore the others, or they're just so like turned off by what they seen growing up that they can't even like fathom being with a black woman. So
experience. Gotcha.
That's interesting. I feel like I've always loved black women. I think as I get older, I find black women so much more attractive.
that's good.
And it's like it's random too. Like I saw a girl with a fro and I'm like, fuck, that's a nice fro. Things like that. Like I find like as I age,
The blackness of them.
yeah, like I tend to love it more. Ooh, just looking at a question. This is
Before we switch questions, what I would say also, and it's come up because I have these conversations a lot. There is diversity in black people. So like people love to tell me that I only date black men. Like I have this one little, yes, I only date black men, but there's so many different types of black men. Like appearance wise, personality wise, interests, hobbies, everything. There's such a wide variety of black people. Like just because I'm dating black men don't mean I'm dating the same exact black man all the time, right? And the same thing goes for women, whereas like there's so many different types of black women. You have a wide variety to choose from, even if you do want to date a black woman. So
I got a possibly interesting and random question I want to ask both of you. What would you consider, first, I'm going to ask you, Keema, what would you consider to be a stereotypical black man in your point of view? And then what would you consider to be a stereotypical black woman in your point of view? It's not bad. It's not derogatory. It's not negative
I can
at all.
answer.
you want to go first?
I'll answer first, and it's unfortunate, but the way I view what I think a stereotypical black woman is a single parent who spends most of her time working. That's how I view a stereotypical black woman.
Okay.
So I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah. It answered my question.
And it's unfortunate, but it's a lot of single black moms around the world who have to work. And they're forced to be the mother and father. They're forced to toughen up. They don't have opportunities to reveal that vulnerable soft side. and then they end up dating somebody who's not used to dating a woman who's had to fend for herself, and then they think she has an attitude. You know, it's not that she has an attitude; she's had to fend for herself her whole life.
Okay. Now, Keema, remember what he just said, because I'm going to ask you a follow-up to what he just said. As a matter of fact, I'm going to ask you the follow-up now.
Okay.
Okay. So now, after hearing what he just said, would you think that it's still the same? Is still the case? Like fathers aren't supporting the mothers, or do you think that it's still the same, or has it improved?
Wait, just to clarify, when I said that single parents, I didn't say that the fathers are not supporting. I'm just saying that they're single parents who have to work.
So then, what's a single parent by definition? What's your definition of a single parent?
What's the definition?
Definition of a single parent is someone who's not with.
Like marriage?
No, not marriage, even relationships. Like you guys break up, you're in separate homes. Maybe he provides like a couple $100 a month or something like that, but you're still single. You are not in a relationship with your child's parent. And you guys are co-parenting.
I'm going to offer a different perspective.
Which is
single adult who has a child with someone else. I think the language single parent, and I struggle with this when I ended my relationship with my child's father. I'm a single woman, but he supports, at least at the time, he still showed up for his son, even though we were no longer in the same house together. He was still very active and engaged beyond just money. So I felt conflicted saying I was a single parent, because I'm not. I watched my mom be a single parent.
And that's what I was trying to go for, that generational difference. Sorry to cut you off. That generational difference between our parents and how we are now, in the fact that we're now like adults, and most of us have like kids, and we're now sometimes in that same predicament that our parents was in. So that's what I was trying to get at. Like, and from what my understanding is that it seems like it was completely different from when your mom was raising you compared to how you're raising your child. Mm-hmm. So that's what I was.
It's interesting that that's where your stereotype went, because to answer your question.
Yeah, now right, I'm going to switch to.
I would say, first off, it depends on the stage I am in my life. Mm. And so at this point, being 30 something years old with a child, a stereotypical Black man for me is a dad who's very active, like, or someone who's just so family oriented. You would think they had a child, but they don't. Like, it's a Black man who values his family, who shows up, who supports the people that he care about. That's my stereotypical Black man.
Okay.
At this stage in my life.
Yes.
Now, earlier, younger Keema, that was a bit unhealthy.
So now I'm gonna pass the follow-up to you in terms of the stereotypical Black man based on Keema's answer.
Wait, what was the question?
It's pretty much like, how do you view it now compared to your experience growing up as to now? Do you view, or do you feel like men are more involved now?
I do.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do think.
Okay.
I'm trying to think about that question now. I don't know. The reason why I don't know is because I see on social media that, Black men are more active, shout out to the Black dads. But there's so many people that I know who struggle with having their father active in a child's life. Mm-hmm. I think I only have I only know like 2 females who the father plays a very active role in their life. The rest of them, they just tolerate them. They maybe get money but never see them. Mm. Some of them fucking flee to another state and they haven't heard from them in 10 plus years. Damn. So what I see is it hasn't changed. But I do have hope that it has changed, but I really don't know.
I'm happy that you said that's what you see. Because for me, that we get our stereotypes from the images that we are constantly being fed. Mm-hmm. And so I'm very particular about the messages that I'm consuming on social media. I only entertain the positive images, right? And then I also, thankfully, because of the people that are in my community, my village, they show up in that way. These are the type of men who are actively, and I wouldn't even say overly involved sometimes, because it's just like, bro, chill out. It's okay. Right. But even for me growing up, that's what I saw. I saw the men in my family being present. Like, they hustled. Yeah. But my entire life consistently, I seen men be in their families, be involved, not just like be a bystander, just like coasting. So it definitely depends on just what you're surrounded by.
That's exactly what I was trying to go for, like the experience based on, and y'all both answered perfectly. It was like your experiences alter your perspective based on like circumstances given.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's good. Just throwing a curveball question.
What other
out
controversy
there.
you got for me, Con?
Yo, I got. All right, well, let's do one more because I see the time and we got to wrap up.
All right.
My question is, how do you feel about co-parenting and co-living?
Co-parent. To be clear, you said co-parenting and co-living.
Let's start with just co-parenting. As a matter of fact, yeah, both.
Okay. So my thoughts on co-parenting is it has to be like the focus has to be on the child. There's no way around it. Like, that has to be the driver and everything. Everyone's feelings and egos have to be removed from the situation. Like, it is going to, especially because you just came out of a relationship and Lord knows how the relationship ended and what feelings are surrounding that. When it comes to parenting, let parenting be the focus. Let that be like all you care about. What does the child need? How can I support? What do I need to do so that the child can have like the optimal experience? Right.
Okay.
Maintaining normalcy. Because when you're co-parenting, more than likely y'all were living together and then y'all are not. So how can you maintain normalcy for your child in this like moment of transition and moving forward? Because both of y'all are still their parents. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, that
Okay.
was perfect. I do want to touch on the cohabiting, but we are running out of time.
Okay.
So sounds like you got to come on for another episode.
All right.
So there'll be a part 2.
There will be a part 2. I will be here.
Part 2.
I'll wear my other black pride.
But so I do have 2 more questions to ask, right? Mm-hmm. Who is Keema?
I am a modern day traditional woman. I think that is an answer that sums up everything about me outside of my accomplishments. I have very traditional values in every sense of the word, right? But unfortunately or fortunately, I live in 2024 where those values don't always align with my environment, with current times. And so I'm just trying to, stay true to myself, not compromise myself, stand in my truth, but move and navigate through this world in 2024.
Shit. Okay, that was well
said.
said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sheesh.
And the final question
Okay.
is, if you could pick one situation or event that's happened to you in your life that if it did not happen, you wouldn't be who you are today, what would it be?
So pretty much I want to out my life, right? That's what you're saying?
No, not out your life, just something that if it never happened to you, you wouldn't be who you are today, for better or for worse.
My father. So when I speak of my father, I speak of not my biological father, the man that my mother was with from the time I was 2. For him to not be my dad, he showed up all the time, even after him and my mother split. And so all of my values and everything, what I think about masculinity, who I am as a woman, was largely impacted by him. Yeah.
Damn. Some good ass answers. That's
Right.
the best one. Well, we'll wrap up. Appreciate you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure.
Definitely got to do this again.
Yes.
Part 3. Part 3.
Oh yeah, technically it's part 3.
Oh boy.
Well, that's the end of the episode. So happy 80-20, happy Hakuna Matata, happy Levicity. Fuck being average, and we'll speak to you all soon.